deep, I'd rather show you what I got. Where I walk, where I talk. See me flying down my route, pass me the ball. I ain't dropping none, I don't fumble at all. Winner, chicken dinner every time we ball. Throwing it like Harden, I dunk it like LeBron. Hey. Monday Night Fredo, Infanity TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Monday Night Fredo, and it is going to be an amazing night tonight. Of course, I'm not a running back in the league, so yeah, I'm having an amazing night because every running back right now is having the worst day of their lives. If you guys all look into Twitter right now, Twitter is trending hot. It's a hot topic right now. The running backs, or every single running back in the league, is taking it to Twitter right now. From former running backs to current running backs, they're all taking it to Twitter right now, and they are all very upset for three reasons: Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, and Saquon Barkley. Yes, those three running backs right now are not in a good place right now. But I am going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that to start the show. But want to just let you know what else is coming up right now, because I want you guys to stay tuned, because the second part of the WNBA Sparks season is going to kick off on Thursday evening in Minnesota for the LA Sparks. And yes, I got a lot to say about what to expect from the LA Sparks in the second part of the season. As well, we look at the WNBA All-Star Weekend that just went through, a very good, exciting game. I actually saw a good product that the WNBA put up out there. It made the game very interesting from the very beginning to the very end. This wasn't like a Pro Bowl type of team, or we saw what the NBA All-Star game is all about at times. The first three quarters are like kind of mess around. Fourth quarter, you start playing a little bit of defense, but no. WNBA All-Star Game was defense, offense, 24/7 from the very beginning, but it was a very good showdown as well. MLB Baseball had All-Star Weekend, Home Run Derby champion, of course. I talked a little bit about that last Monday on Monday Night Fredo, but then on Tuesday, it was a great win for the National League, defeating the American League for the first time in 9 years. So, can you believe that the American League owned the National League for 9 years in a row? That is a lot of years. It seemed like the American League just owned the National League. And, the National League has not been that bad, for some reason. I was in attendance last season at the All-Star game here at Dodger Stadium. Did get a chance to see a very tight game. I believe it was a 3-2 ball game at Dodger Stadium last season. And when you see that every year an All-Star game is by a run or two, this past week, the National League took it 3-2 over the American League. So it was a good game overall for the National League. But there is one thing I do want to talk about Major League Baseball. This is not even about the game. And this is about the media relations program with Major League Baseball. I don't understand why I, as a viewer, have to go and tune out of the All-Star game during the fourth inning to go watch Shohei Otani's press conference. Like, I have not seen another, league or anybody else in anything in sports put up a live press conference from a player during the game. Like, that is complete nonsense. Like, you are taking viewers away from the baseball fall classic to go watch Shohei Otani talk to the media for about 15 minutes, and then you miss a whole fourth inning of excitement. You miss a fifth inning of excitement. Then during the fifth inning, I see Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and every other starter in Major League Baseball walk out. Like, I remember at one point, Mookie Betts is tweeting live from the hotel room. Like, you were the starter of the game in the first inning, and then you leave in the fourth inning to go do press conference and you go home. Like, what is that? Like, I don't get what came across people's minds. It's like, oh, you know what? Let's have the press conference in the middle of the game. Like, really? Like, no, yes, I wanted to watch Shohei Ohtani, see what he had to say. I wanted to hear what Mookie Betts and all these other athletes have to say, but not during the game. Like, it made me tune out of the game at one point, and I missed maybe an inning or two. But it's not fair. It's not fair to go ahead and do that. I don't know who came up with that bright idea, but that could be maybe a dumb idea moving forward. I don't know. I mean, whatever it is that you guys want to do for Major League Baseball, of course, we know that Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, is not the brightest commissioner right now. Of course, we know the way he handled the whole Houston, Texas stuff a few years ago, and he has just not been able to kind of keep it under control over the last few seasons he's been a commissioner in baseball. But there was one interesting quote that right now, these times, the next 10 days are going to be the juiciest days in baseball because Shohei Otani, the greatest baseball player to ever play the game. Yes, I said it. I said that because I mean it. And I can see it every single day he's out on the field. Like, I have not seen another baseball that good. Like, I've seen Barry Bonds. I've seen Greg Maddux. I've seen Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, a lot of the greats. I mean, Mike Piazza was one of the greats as well. And you can never, ever compare someone like Shohei Ohtani. The nearest comparison to Shohei is Babe Ruth. We know that the Babe only pitched for one season. I mean, Shohei Ohtani has already pitched for 3 seasons. So he's already surpassed the Babe. So Shohei Ohtani right now is going to be a free agent at the end of the season. He is projected to maybe hit $1 billion if possible, which I think he might hit about 700 or 800 million. But Shohei Ohtani had an interesting quote during the press conference in the 4th inning. And he said, a reporter, I forgot who asked him, but they asked him about what excited him about the All-Star game. And his answer clearly had the Dodgers in his mind because he said that he was very impressed with Mookie Betts. He was impressed in his ability to take it on and off the field and handle everything during All-Star weekend and being a great player that he is. So for Shohei to show some love about Mookie Betts on how much he loved Mookie Betts, is that a sign that he wants to come and play for the Dodgers? I mean, right now, he clearly does not want to be in Anaheim. And according to the Angel reporter from The Athletic, did come out earlier this weekend and said that the Angels are finally open to a trade possibility prior to the trade deadline on August 1st in Major League Baseball. So, Artie Moreno, my guy, owner of the Angels, you now kind of took to sense and been like, hey, okay, I'm open to trading Ohtani if that's the case. If we know he's going to walk away, why not trade the man? And maybe you were watching Monday Night Fredo because I've been talking about this like, Artie Moreno, wake up, trade this man. You cannot just let this man walk away for nothing. It would be the biggest meltdown, turn down, move in Major League Baseball. Like, you cannot let Ohtani walk away for anything. Nothing. Gotta trade the man. And right now, Artie Moreno, you got the chance. You got like 13 days to trade him. You got 13 days to find something. And the Dodgers have come out and said that they are not going to pursue a trade for Shohei Ohtani. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? That they know something that we don't know. They know that they're not going to trade their pieces. They're not going to trade their young guys to go ahead and bring Ohtani right now when they know they can bring Ohtani in 3 months. So you can kind of see something like that. But if I was the Dodgers, if I was Andrew Friedman, the president of baseball operations for LA, I would pull the trigger on trading for Shohei Ohtani. I do not want you to be Rob Pelinka from down the street. Because if we rewind a little bit back to 2019, we clearly remember that the Lakers had the opportunity to trade with Indiana to acquire Paul George. We knew that Paul George was not going elsewhere, and the speculation around the time was like, well, Paul George wants to go to the Lakers. Paul George is going to the Lakers. And LA was probably like, okay, we're not going to trade for him. Let him do what he wants for the last part of the season, and we'll go ahead and steal him during the offseason. What happened that middle of the season? The Oklahoma City Thunder traded for Paul George. Paul George went to Oklahoma that offseason. Lakers expected to sign him, but what happened? Paul George stood in Oklahoma. He re-signed and loved it there. He did not know that he was going to love it there, but he stood there. Rob Pelinka took that risk in not trading for Paul George, because just imagine right now, LeBron James, PG, and maybe Anthony Davis put together right now. That would have been a good trio. Of course, we never will know now, but don't take that risk of thinking like, oh, I got that player unlocked. He's coming to us. He's coming to us no matter what, so I'm not trading my pieces. Don't be Rob Pelinka. Even though, Rob Pelinka, you know I love you. You know I respect you, and every single day I give you your flowers here on this show. But right now, Andrew Friedman, Magic Johnson, Scott Stanton, make sure you guys wake up and trade for Shohei Otani if the opportunity does come to the table. But that's what it is right now, guys. Shohei is going to be running the show for the next 13 days before the MLB trade deadline. And where is he going to end up? I mean, who knows? If he goes to Seattle, he might go to New York, he might go to Boston. Who knows? But when we return here on Monday Night Fredo, it's enough about baseball. Enough about that. I do want to talk a little bit about some more basketball, about some crybabies in the NBA, and some, WNBA as well, because there are a lot of great athletes that took the stage over at WNBA All-Star Weekend in Vegas this past week, and I'll touch a little bit on that when we return here on Monday Night Fredo.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
And we're back here on Monday Night Fredo. Make sure everyone go ahead and subscribe right now on YouTube. Hit the notification button, because all of the latest content all around sports is coming at you here on Infanity TV. But right now, I'm coming at 3 players right now. And these 3 players, 2 of them on the same team, which is just ridiculous. But 3 NBA players right now are just kind of like, they're those kind of, I don't know how to really describe them for you, but there are 3 players that just kind of feel like they can run the league. They feel like anything they do says and goes, and that's not the case in the NBA. And let's first go ahead and highlight one of my favorite guys. For the people, I remember I saw this video on Instagram not too long ago. It was a video clip from one of my first shows I was ever part of back in 2017. When I was talking about James Harden when he was a Houston Rocket at the time. Between 2017, 2018, James Harden had one of the best seasons of his career, leading the Houston Rockets to multiple playoff runs, even when he teamed up with Dwight Howard and those guys, and they were making a pretty good stretch run. I remember they even took the Warriors to like a Game 7 at one point, and it was very good when they had Chris Paul, James Harden, but James Harden has really not changed. Like, the only thing that's changed is his body image. Like, he's maybe looked a little slower now ever since he left to Brooklyn and joined the Philadelphia 76ers. But James Harden is not that guy. Like, he is not a guy that you want to trade all your pieces for and bring him to your team. Like, he is not going to make your team and take it to the next level. He's not that man. Like, if you want someone like that, you got to go out and get a guy like Jalen Brunson, because, man, Jalen Brunson has become one of my favorite players in the NBA. He is one of the toughest players and athletes out there. He's not the biggest one. He's not the most athletic one. But he is just the more consistent, because at the end of the day, no matter what you do in life, you want to try to be consistent with it. And, right now, James Harden has not been consistent at all. He is not. And we can be like, well, James Harden can dribble. He's one of the best guys. He can get to the basket. He can get to the free throw line. Like, okay, good. Yeah, he's going to give me 17, 18, 19 points, what he did this past season in Philly. But what else can he do? Can he play defense? No. Can he rebound the ball? No. Can he play without turning the ball over? No. Like, does he get along with his teammates? No. Does he go to strip clubs? Yeah. I mean, that's one thing he does do. I mean, why not go back to Houston at that point? And maybe that's the reason why he wants to come to LA. He wants to come to Los Angeles. Shams Charania of The Athletic reported earlier this afternoon that James Harden is still locked and loaded and just only looking to go to one team, which is the Los Angeles Clippers. And according to another Athletic reporter, Russell Westbrook and James Harden do want to team up all over again. So they tried it once in Houston. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and a couple other pieces. They tried it. It didn't work out. Now they think that they're a lot slower. They're not the same type of players they were in 2019, 2020 when they were together. Yeah, you'll be with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, two guys who don't even play at all. I forgot when was the last time they both played together at the same time. But, I mean, yeah, that might be an interesting team. That would be an interesting team to see Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden. But I can see that team maybe be the 5th, 4th seed in the Western Conference, but with the type of defense that, James Harden plays and the availability that James Harden and Kawhi Leonard might give you, and Paul George as well, coming off of major injuries, I don't know if they're going to be a team to build off of. I mean, that might be a team you might want to sell to the fans, because I'm sure that team will sell. I mean, if you're in marketing, you can take the Clippers this upcoming season and do something good out of them, because next season they will be moving into their new dome that they call in Inglewood. But I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not a Clippers fan. I don't know much about them, but from what I do see here in Los Angeles is that, they're desperate. They're very, very desperate for attention. And what do people do for attention? Desperate things. Bringing a guy who plays no defense, brings no leadership skills, bring no real chemistry to a team. He might bring you some connections to the strip clubs out in Los Angeles, because there's quite a few out there. So that's maybe the only thing he will bring to the team. And he's definitely going to maybe ruin some team chemistry out there, because the ball is very sticky to James Harden. We know Kawhi likes the ball. We know PG likes the ball. And we clearly know Russell Westbrook likes the ball. And with a guy like Ty Lue, maybe he can get these troops together and really put something together. All right? Maybe so. Who knows? But another guy, Joel Embiid, teammate of James Harden, also came out today. It's like everyone, it's Monday. It's time to talk to the media. It's time to tweet. It's time to say some things. Joel Embiid said that he is only having one goal on his mind. That goal is winning an NBA championship. Yeah, you might not win it in Philly. So he did say, hey, whether it's here or elsewhere, all I want to do is win. That's what he said. And DJ Khaled. But with James Harden leaving Philly, Joel Embiid is going to be by himself in an island all over again. It's a sad time in Philly sports. So Joel Embiid really got some time to think, because let's imagine this. Let's just imagine this. Sit down and relax. Have a drink. Relax. And think about this. What if Joel Embiid asked for a trade? Where can he go? Where can he really go? The Lakers? I mean, you need a body to match up against Nikola Jokic for the next upcoming seasons. You need a body down there. What can the Lakers offer? I mean, another broken down player in Anthony Davis, maybe. I mean, maybe some of the young guys. Like, just imagine you put LeBron James, Joel Embiid, and Anthony Davis. Wow, that can be hella scary. But it is also going to be hella scary for those doctor bills because there will be major injuries, major games missed, if that's the case. But who knows? Another player that I want to highlight before we go into a commercial break here is the one and only Damian Lillard. Damian's another guy right now. He's just talking. He wants to get out of Portland. He says that he's been faithful and whatnot. You just said a few months ago that you want to stay in Portland. You want to build something in Portland. And then a couple months later, you change your mind. You want to go out. You want to get out. And you want to only go to Miami. Only Miami. It's like, really? Come on. You only want to go to Miami? You're really putting your foot down that you only want to go there? Like, at the end of the day, Portland got to do what's best for them. And this is a basketball business decision for Portland to do. Go get the players that you deserve that's going to help your team stay in contention. Because if you really lowball the next team or the next team lowballs you guys, you might not get anything. You might not get anything at all. And it sucks to be Portland. It sucks to be Philly. And it definitely sucks to be an LA Clippers fan. But when we return here on Monday Night Fredo, I'm going to give you guys the last minute updates on the LA Sparks on what they are going to do in the second part of the season. And don't forget to follow us as well at LA Sparks Weekly as we bring you all of the latest highlight and analysis only on Infanity TV. We'll return.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
And we're back here on Monday Night Fredo for your last segment of the day. And believe it or not, if you missed the beginning part of the show, rewind this part. Go check it out because I said a lot of things about the NFL running backs, which is a very hot topic right now. But another hot topic going on right now, it's a WNBA. We just witnessed a great All-Star game this past Saturday night live from Las Vegas. We saw Team Stewart against Team Wilson. And, of course, Asia Wilson, the face of the WNBA. Of course, she is a champion, an MVP, and a multiple-time All-Star in her first 6 seasons in the WNBA. But of course, Vegas had it wrong. Again, not Vegas the team, but the Vegas bettors. I mean, Vegas had Team Wilson favored by like 8 points. And, you know, we understand they had a very big, heavy team. They got a talented team. I mean, Arike Ogunbowale, she is just, she's amazing, man. I've gotten the chance to see her multiple times at Crypto this season. And Arike has been amazing. My other favorite player, I will get a chance to see her one more time, is Jewel Lloyd, man. Jewel Lloyd is, oh my Lord, like she is, if I can compare her to an NBA player, I might give her the name of, she's like a, I don't want to say Curry because she's not that good of a shooter. She's a great scorer, not shooter. But I just shouted him out earlier. It's like Jalen Brunson, man. Jalen Brunson has really elevated his game in the league, and he plays both sides of the ball. He's very aggressive. He's a great leader, and that's what Jewel Lloyd brings to the Seattle Storm. But when we look at what Nneka Ogwumike from the Los Angeles Sparks has done over this first part of the season, has been very much impressive in one reason, because she's been so consistent all year long. She only missed one game all season for the LA Sparks, and she is currently under a 1-year contract with the team after, exploring her options this past offseason, which the word around town was that she was going elsewhere. But for some reason, it seems like the Sparks found the right coach in Kurt Miller. They found the right GM and president of basketball operations in Karen Bryant. And it seemed like Nneka kind of bought into the new environment, the new team, because she even said it at one point early in the season that, okay, this LA Sparks, it's a different feel. It's like I'm playing for a different team, she said. Like, that's how different the LA Sparks are this season compared to the previous seasons that she's been in LA for 12 years before this last season. But the Los Angeles Sparks right now falling kind of, they fell to 7-13 right now. 7-13, which it sucks to say, but I'm going to tell you one quick stat that I was looking at yesterday. Of course, there were news broken by the LA Sparks saying that they have terminated the contract of Destiny Henderson, who has been with the team for the past few weeks, ever since all the injuries and all the non-COVID illnesses have been going around the team. But Destiny Henderson was the only person that helped LA win their only 2 games in the last month. Like, the Sparks won 2 games due to Destiny's hustle, her scoring, and her leadership out there, because it seemed like at one point she kind of took control of the game. And both of those 2 games came against Dallas. Dallas is not an easy team to go against. And for Destiny Henderson to step up both games, one was on Friday night at Crypto, and the other one was on Sunday afternoon on Primetime ABC, and she lit it up, gave the Sparks the 2 victories, and those have been the only 2 victories that they've won ever since Lexi Brown has been out of the lineup. So, Destiny was a pretty much interesting piece for the LA Sparks in these past few weeks. Now she's out of the picture, but the Sparks get Laisha Clarendon back. She went out with the foot injury early in the season, and now she is back. She is now another leader, another starter, another playmaker, and another scorer that the Sparks were missing. But let's not stop there, because the Sparks are also getting Lexi Brown back in action this week. So that is the biggest piece that LA has been missing over the last few weeks, and the main reason why they're falling to the bottom of the league. Prior to Lexi Brown getting hurt and out with a non-COVID illness, the Sparks were the number 4th team in the WNBA. Once Lexi Brown went out, the Sparks have only won 2 games in their last 12 games. It's been awful. It's been sad to be part of that kind of momentum that's kind of going throughout the season, because you never want to be in that losing streak and kind of, you just want to pick up a victory. And it was hard for the Los Angeles Sparks to pick up a victory this past Wednesday in their first part of the season finale against Las Vegas Aces at home, because they were already on a 6-game losing streak. They ended up ending the first part of the season on a 7-game losing streak. Now they open the second part of the season in Minnesota. They're not that tough in Minnesota. LA is getting their weapons back. Shohei Otani is still questionable to return. So most of these LA Sparks players are back in the lineup. They're getting healthier. And I'm pretty sure, like I said on last Wednesday, I said it on social media, that the LA Sparks, do not give up on them just yet. Even though we got about 15, 20 games left, don't give up just yet. They have the chance to make a turnaround, because they're not facing the Aces no more. They're not facing those tough teams no more. They're facing kind of the middle level teams right now. So they really got to take advantage of that. One thing you got to take advantage of is subscribing to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, because we're going to be bringing you guys all of the latest content and highlights of all the sports around Southern California. And don't forget, you can catch me, you can catch my Cal, you can catch Beef, you can catch DJ on the breaks every single day here on Infanity TV, 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, catch me. I'll be saying some crazy stuff tomorrow. Catch me on the breaks. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going nuts. I'm going nuts on you guys right now. Goodbye.